Uh-huh. What my wife was told and what a judge has to do are two different things. Yes. See, you have to have jurisdiction, don't you, Judge Rohr? Yes. Now, you would sit there saying, well, I don't know. Pooh. But you know you have to have jurisdiction. You have to. If you don't have jurisdiction, you can't issue the dissolution of marriage. Now, eventually, I'm going to get the actual documents that were submitted to the court. Yes. And if I don't find the not guilty verdict, yes. I don't find the expungement order. Pooh. If I don't find an actual copy of the marriage certificate, if I don't find any documentation of the actual petitioner, yes, and her signatures on that dissolution of marriage are not a look-alike, yes, I'm going to sue this state and every state of the United States. Now, the petitioner can say whatever she wants. It's a judge's responsibility to have jurisdiction. Now, the state is the home state. The children and the parents of the children have significant connection with other states. All courts in the child are declined to exercise jurisdiction on the ground that a court of this state is more appropriate forum to determine custody of the children under RCW 26.27.261. Yes. Well, of all the courts in Washington State that I've emailed, yes, King County courts, Pierce County courts, pooch. How many of you have jurisdiction to dissolve a United Nations marriage? No other state has jurisdiction, emergency jurisdiction on the proceeding because the children are present in the state and the children have been abandoned or it's necessary. An emergency to protect the children because the children or a sibling or parent of the children is subjected to RCW 26.27.231. Did you do all that modification of the protection order approximately 4 months before the dissolution of marriage? Yes. With the intention of saying that you have temporary emergency jurisdiction. Because as I remember visiting with Pastor Greg Miller in his office, all I did was pray with him. Oh, I never went to the church. Yes. I never went to the Boys and Girls Club. No. I never did anything to violate the restraining orders, the protection order. Yes. Is this actually marked as the court has temporary or emergency jurisdiction? Yes. The children are present in this state and the children have been abandoned. Did somebody say that I abandoned my 5 sons? After 8 years of the fraud of Clallam County, yes, the forgeries of the petitioner, yes, the obvious refusal to acknowledge my rights and their rights, yes. When I get a copy of the actual dissolution of marriage, the findings and facts of the law, if you have been using protection orders as justification, yes, to refuse to enforce the due process rights of the father, I'm going to sue this court and every court, every county of the state of Washington because you corrupt piece of shit. Now, the truth of the matter is, yes, the only reason you did a modification of the protection order, yes, because this respondent is restrained from going within 300 feet of the First Baptist Church of Sequim. Yeah. 1323 Sequim Dungeness Way, Sequim, Washington. If somebody said that a lookalike, did my dog visit with Pastor Greg Miller? Ooch. Did somebody that had a false identification that had 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, did they go to the church and say they were Paul C. Budnick? Ouch. Did they do that? Because as I remember it, I got here in 2012, yes. And it was approximately the summertime. It was warm outside, yes. And let's see here. It wasn't in October, yes. Declaration, was it sometime in June, July, or August that I actually did visit with Pastor Greg Miller? Did he make any notation of that private meeting together in his office where I explained that some of the spirituality of Guam was tribal? Yes. See, on Guam, there are a lot of well, tribes, really. Yes, it is tribal. It's a different kind of experience. But did you send in somebody that looks like me? Yes. To harass Pastor Greg Miller? Yes. So as to upset him, just like the arrest that took place in Sequim, Washington on December 31st of 2015. What about the same individual that you served after you issued the protection order? Yes. What about what happened on June 16th of 2017, where you said I was in Brendan, Washington, and somebody else was there? Yes. Did did you actually have somebody, yes, that said that they were myself, go to the Boys and Girls Club and cause all kinds of problems? Yes. While my sons were there? Yes, yes, yes. So that you would include the Boys and Girls Club as being a location where I am prohibited from knowingly coming within or knowingly remaining within. See, to say going within 300 feet of the Sequim Boys and Girls Club, 400 West First Street? Yes. Wait a second, 400 West First Street? Yes. 400 West First Street. I've seen that 400 someplace before. 400, yes. North Sequim Avenue. The 400 block of West First Street. Now, I happen to know where the Boys and Girls Club is. Yes. Did did the location at the 400 block of First Street? Yes. And the 400 block of North Sequim Avenue? Did any of this happen at the Boys and Girls Club? And it just seems kind of weird, doesn't it? There's 400 West First Street. Yes. And then there's 400 North Sequim Avenue. Is there somebody, yes, that has my identification, right, that it weighs 225 pounds, is 6 feet tall, and has gray hair? Yes. That violated it on, oh. Did, did you send in somebody that said they were myself to the Boys and Girls Club right now? Did you do that? Did you want to make it look like I was committing crimes and violating the restraint provisions of the protection order? Because what I see, yes, is all of this modification of the actual protection order. Yes. hmm hmm Where I never got a copy of the actual declaration of Pastor Greg Miller. No, he didn't. Did somebody that said they were myself go to that church and cause all kinds of problems? Ooch. Modifying terms of the protection order, reissuing protection order, motion hearing Brent Baisden, reissuance of the protection order for 1 year, motion hearing, modifying, yes, and then the sheriff said that they served me, and then October 5th, declaration temporary order, yes, motion hearing Brent Baisden, yeah, motion hearing took place on October 5th of 2012. And on October 2nd of 2012, Pastor Greg Miller went to speak to Brent Baisden. Yeah. So 3 days after this, did somebody that has my identification right now? Well, Brent Baisden. Declaration, petition, a motion to modify. Yes. Motion hearing, Brent Baisden, October 2nd, 2012. Temporary order, parenting plan, temporary order, motion hearing, October 5th, Brent Baisden. Yes. Now this says motion hearing, Big W, little b, Big Basin, Department 3. Yes. And this says, Big W, Big B, Department 3. Yeah. 3 days difference. Yes, it was. This modifying of the protection order. Yes. For those that are employees of the Boys and Girls Club, yes. I never went to the Boys and Girls Club. No. Did somebody say that I went to?